Hello everybody. Just coming from my walk, and it's later in the day when you'll be getting this, but I'm just kind of watching this storm roll in, and there is some lightning in the sky, so it's going to be probably a much shorter one, but it was one of those things that I have to do. I have to get that walk in today. I have to get that energy out. And one big thing that I've discovered along this way for me, and this may help some of you, is that I'm like a little ball of energy, right? I'm always absorbing energy. I feel everything around, and then plus I have an ability to create even more energy, and it's so easy to get caught in a mind trap when you start letting your mind become active along with everything that you're experiencing in the world, and you start to not even notice that you're taking it on. Look at the sky. Isn't that amazing? And so, ooh, look at that. And that's a little bit of our discussion today, is that sun, maybe too many people playing the the disc golf. So anyway, but all this energy, so I get worked up sometimes, and I have to get moving. But I have learned the difference between actively moving with purpose and intention than spiraling. And that's a huge lesson that I've learned, and having a whole bunch of ADD in my family and in me, is in my existence, is that there's one thing to let yourself just get so busy, and you get angry, and you just start cleaning, and you start doing things, and you talk your way through the cleaning, and you spew everything as you're cleaning on what you're really mad at, and you never deal with what you're really mad at. You just get the energy out, and then you got the energy out, and you're done, right? It's like, so then you never deal with what you need to deal with. And that was what I did my whole life. I would keep busy, I would go clean, I'd get mad, and I would never say what I needed to say. So things didn't get dealt with, but I would clean the physical health, the house. Like, house would get clean, work would get done. I could create stuff. I can create some amazing magic when I'm angry. And so sometimes during the day, I walk twice, because I might record a session that then I realize my purest of intention wasn't in it. And then I have to, because we're human, and then I spin it back, I delete it, and I walk again. And and what I've come to really recognize, and what I've come to know in my healing journey, and in my trainings that I do in trauma and emotional wounds, and whatever I train in, I make sure to incorporate in my life first if it applies to me. And is that this walking, this taking this time, pause, reflect, breathe, come out, do my walk, is not releasing the energy that I need to put into having a conversation or dealing with anything. Is that it gives me time to put everything into perspective, to put things into the compartments where it belongs, in my thought, in my heart, and to dump out what doesn't belong, to get rid of what is not necessary, what's necessary, and to find the language that I want to use with the correct energy behind the words, because we all perceive the language differently. We all perceive the words differently. It's all based on our experience with those words. And you'd be amazed. My friend Lisa Starr Francis taught me a lot about this, and to pay, not that you don't know it, but to pay attention to it, is that the most beautiful word could be a trigger word for somebody else, and you don't even know it's a trigger word. One of my words that used to trigger me was I. Because if I said I want to do something, or it came across, it was always said, well, that's selfish, and you're being selfish, and you're all about you, but it's not. And so that was a word for me, and it's in almost every affirmation, and I was putting it on my mirror, and I was putting it everywhere else, and in the meantime I was triggering myself. So the energy behind those words and those thoughts matter. And so when you can come to a point where you can do a task or find a way to release the energy that is in your body, to put it in compartments. So first, decide, look at what is yours and what is somebody else's. Because what is somebody else's is not going to be useful in you dealing with yours, unless you're using it kind of as an example. But no, it will not take you closer to walking into your own light. You will be farther away. It's very humid tonight. Struggling, breathing today, out walking. And I haven't even walked a whole big distance yet. It's very, very humid. So when you put it in that new perspective, you can reframe. Coach me call it reframing. You can reframe your words, your thoughts, your phrases, and you can really truly put things in the compartments and get rid of what's not yours. You can have a garbage can. Be like, see a garbage can in front of you, take your foot, put your foot on it, lift up the cover and say, not mine. And excuse my nails, not mine. I can't create even a story around what's not mine. So when you start saying, well, this is what I think they think, and this is what I think they want, and this is what I think needs to happen for them, I think this is what they need to do. Well, that's you creating stories and narratives, and you're thinking for somebody else, or you're thinking what's in somebody's head, and you're possibly reading somebody's mind. But if you're reading somebody's mind, you're reading all that is in that freaking mind. So it could be from 10 years back. Might not even be anything that is of the now. So get rid of that, clear that out. We're walking towards your light. We're going your direction. And so I'm walking towards my light. And so, because I don't want to go towards that storm. I don't want to walk into that storm. And there's still light here. And this is where choices come in, right? So I'm going to walk towards that light and gain clarity. So when you are finding a way where you can refocus your energy and then reframe your thoughts and then reframe your words, you clean the house and you reframe, what it is that you want, what it is you're looking for. So you reframe your questions and you reframe how we use reframing questions when we're coaching so that you can look at things in a new perspective, with a new perspective. Look at it in a different way. So if I give you one question and it's a quick yes/no answer, then it's shutting down the conversation. It's not opening you to explore deeper. If I ask you something, that means that you have to think about the answer, and then you have to look at the views, other people's views, and then you start to, and a different view, look at it a different way. Then you are you're coming up with probably a more expansive answer, and you're responding to your own question. You're answering your own question, and you're gaining clarity, and then you're putting things into the right compartment. So you're using all parts of your body where you feel it. You're using your gut, your heart, and the proper parts of your mind, because your mind will believe what it's fed. And this is a hard one for people to conceive or to perceive. The concept for people to really grasp is the fact that your mind cannot create those negative thoughts. That's the stories that you've created that then have that energy pull in that negativity. And so it's you that's creating. So you are your creator. And what are you creating? And how is it benefiting you to never deal? How's it helping you? How's it hindering you? And is this of service to me? And so as you look into it deeper, and as you come into this clearer perspective, we start to be able to walk into light. So we open a space, we open our hearts, we open our minds, and we start to gain a new perspective, a new view. And as you're getting that, you now have a new possibility. And this means that you're starting to deal with what you need to deal with, and you're looking at it a different way. Hi. and so as you do this, you are starting the action steps with intention to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with. You're not in the chaos. You're not spiraling. You might have a super clean physical house or space, or you might be doing a really good job on filing, your office, but you're cluttering up you because you're suppressing what really needs to be dealt with, and you're just exuding the energy that was in your gas tank that was meant to be for you to get through the rest of your day. And then you'll find yourself going and sitting on the couch and nothing else that needs to get done gets done, or you don't deal with the issue, and then when it rises again, when it comes up to you again, you're like, why is this back again? I already dealt with that. No, you walked through the house and you cleaned your house. You didn't deal with what needed to be dealt with. You didn't do what was needed to be done. And so you avoid it and redirect it, and you pushed it aside, and you didn't do the things that needed to be done. And that's what leads us to always being in that state of ups and downs, spiraling, never getting done what needs to be done. And then you have like a lot of land like this right here that you always have an intention to build a good home on, and it never gets done because there's always something either in the way, something didn't get dealt with, or you'll come in and you'll put in a sloppy foundation and build a house just to get it done. And so if you're cluttered, if you're constantly being revisiting, if you're constantly having to redo something, do it over and over and over again, then it's time to really look at what else can I do with intention and with a pure thought that gives me the opportunity to properly clear my energy, but also to put things in perspective, put things into compartments, and then into perspective, find a way of how will I deal with this? What is going to be my best way to the solution? So you're not spiraling in more of a problem. And when you find yourself stepping more and more into that, then you can build up a strong empire, a foundation, anything like within you that allows you, don't go down those steps, that then allows you to create inner peace, and knowing that don't go down there, it may not be easy, but you know that by dealing with things, it's less clutter and junk that you have within you. And we never know exactly what's going to be the right choice. What we often have to do is that you just have to make a choice. That's it. Once you make a choice, once you can get clarity and you make a choice, well, then you just have to deal with all the consequences that comes with it, but it shifts the energy. It releases from inside of you. And then change happens. And it's beautiful. It might not be beautiful in the beginning. You might have to redirect and change again. But if you actually deal with things and you actually make a healthy choice and find the words and the proper energy, not yelling, not screaming, but just saying, you know what? This is how, and this is, one last thing, is to not to lay that blame. So if you have to have that hard conversation, this is how it made me feel. You're not assuming how it made someone else feel, how they intended to make you feel, or you're not going on the attack with the attack. I felt as if. I have this feeling, and this may not be true, and I use this constantly now when I'm in a state of having to have, not a state, but I'm in a moment where I have to deal with an issue, and I'll often say to my partner is, I could be wrong, and I may not be right, because, I realize that I may, there is some past history there, but this is how this made me feel. I don't know if that was your intention, and I'm not going to assume it was, but it's how it made me feel. And I need to approach this. I need to speak to you about this, because I can't hold on to this, because I'll be harboring. And when you harbor it, it anchors in. And when it anchors in, it becomes bigger than what it needs to be. And 9 chances out of 10, it's not near as bad or as big as what you think it is. And if it is big and it's bad, then it gives you an opportunity to then be able to make the choices that you need to make to be able to clear the air, clear your heart, clear your mind, and to then make a choice to walk that direction and to keep walking that direction. Walk always towards your light. And someday you won't realize it, but you'll be in your light. And then before you know it, you'll be walking through that light. And it's an amazing, amazing journey. And if you look at the sky right now, you can see, like, up above the white, you can see almost like dancing little lines. And it's so beautiful. And if you just look up, instead of looking down, like we get cleaning, we're looking down, we're not. For me, it has become this walking and going out, and I walk, and like I said, I might record one. That's not really for you guys. It's for me to be able to hear my own self. And when you can hear your own self sometimes, when you're mad, sometimes record yourself before you speak. Or don't send your first message. Put it in your notes. So whatever it is you want to spew out, and you want to get that keyboard warrior energy going, you're like, and then you hit send, and then you're like, oh God. I always say, write it in your notes before you're even tempted to send it out. Sit on it, hold it, breathe it through, think about it, read it 2 or 3 times. You might readjust it, you might change it, you might change how you communicate it. And the only way that a text message is, received on the other end is it's just words. It is the energy of the other person on how they perceive that text message. And so it is the exact same thing when somebody else repeats your words. So if you're repeating the words of what you even heard somebody else say earlier, and then you say back to them, well, you said that, and it's not the same, and you'll be able to say, no, that's through your mouth. That's your energy. That's how you're saying it. That is not how I said it. That's not how it was meant, and that was not my words. And trust me, I've been down this road. And so people will repeat it, say it, how they are feeling. So when you're clear and your heart is clear and you communicate healthy and you do it with a pure intention, and you've cleared out all the rest of the junk, then you know exactly what you've said, you know exactly what you mean, you know exactly, you say, yep, that's exactly what I meant. I meant this. This is what I'm saying, this is what I'm feeling, this is what right? And it's like, I didn't say it was right, but it's what I'm feeling. And that starts moving you into what I call, and you often may hear this, is that emotionally and spiritually maturing. But it's about that, when I say growing up, when we start to grow up, is that we are not then going into the past history bank to deal with things, or we're not suppressing more down so that when it does come up, is regurgitate it from another story. And it's not from our past. It is from the woman, the man, the person that you are right here today, who's now walking more and more into clarity, into a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy state of being, coming into alignment with you. And really, truly think about this today as we're looking through the bars so that you're not imprisoning you in your own thought. You're not running around, just exuding energy, having to fight with yourself in your head. You are making a choice to choose to do something that is productive, something that gets you active, something that really truly gets you to focus on and actually doing something that is of good, where you are not in your head, you're clearing your head, you're not telling yourself a story, you're not fighting with yourself, you're just peacefully walking, not even fighting with yourself, you just walk. You listen to music, you do whatever, but you stay out of that head of yours. And when you do, that's when you can hear and you start to get the clear answers. You know where things belong. You know what things are. And it's just this innate that is in us. And this innate abilities really truly starts to work when we get out of our minds, when we move ourselves, our egos out of the way, and we just go be in that state of calm peacefulness, and change happens as we're just watching all those crows come land. Piles of crows coming land in tree. They're bringing themselves home for the night. And that's it. That's exactly what you're doing. Come home to you. Know that you're worthy to deal with this. And that's my dog. And that you're in a healthier state of being. So as we're coming down to our 12 days of walking, this will be day 8. And 8 is the infinity. And so do you want to keep it alive, or do you want to let a cycle end, let a story end, let things end, and know that when you can let endings happen, new beginnings can start. Much love. Have a beautiful day. Night. Bye-bye.